welcome to part 2 of my Story Ranger kayak review. Plan for today is to get the kayak in the water and go through some of the points that I raised up in part 1. There is a link for part 1 down below. So the main points that I wasn't sure about was there's a lot of confusion over the pressure that the kayak should be raised to. The manual says one thing, the website says another thing when you buy the kayak, and the actual kayak says something totally different. So my plan is to go with what's on the kayak. The manual seems to be a generic one for all of Story's kayaks, so I don't really trust that, to be fair. So I'm going to go with what's noted on the actual kayak. See how that goes. I brought the paddle along with me. Normally the paddles that come with kayaks aren't the best of quality, but it's only fair to give it a go. I have got my normal paddle with me as well, and the only other thing I wanted to look at was how stable the seat is. The seat is held in place by four ties, 4 harnesses that clip into place, but there's nothing on the base of the kayak to hold it steady, so I just want to see how much movement there is in that. And one of the comments from part 1 was asking about how easy it is to carry. There are carry handles on it, and I've done a little bit of video showing me putting it in the car, so I hope that clears up the message for you, David, if you're looking at part 2. So let's see how we get on. I have to say I've only gone a couple hundred yards, but on first impression it tracks really well. It goes in a straight line. It's quite windy today, and the wind is catching the back end a little bit when you're stationary or when you're trying to go backwards, which you don't usually do. So but I mean, I'm not paddling at all at the moment. It's just going in a straight line. Look. Straight as a die. It's very comfy, I have to say, very comfy indeed, and it's a lot more stable than I thought. So if I just, you know, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to tip at all. I feel safe in it, which is good. This is very comfortable. It's a nice paddling position in the kayak. The seat does sit still very well. It's very stable. You just have to set it up before you get in, and you'll be fine then. But yeah, it's really nice. The paddle itself, you can feel movement in the actual paddle parts. It feels fairly stable. I had a little bit of trouble with one of the connecting pins where it wasn't springing back into place and securing, but I seem to have sorted that. I think I will use my normal paddle. It's just a little bit smoother. Compared to the other kayak I got, which is a Bestway, it's a lot smoother. It's faster as well, and it seems to track a lot better, as I said earlier. There's not so much movement either side, which is great, and it goes in a straight line when you stop paddling, like I've done that. So yeah, first impressions, very good. As far as the pressure on the kayak went for the bellows, I just followed the guidelines on the actual kayak. So I think it was 6 for the sides and between 8 and 10 on the base. So I went for 8. I'll put the actual numbers down in the description. But yeah, it totally confused me when I did the unpacking on part one. I didn't have a clue what I was going to set it to, but after a bit of thought, okay, hi. But after a bit of thought, I figured that what it said on the actual kayak would be the best one. So I've gone possibly about a mile now, and it's all going well. It's a really nice kayak. I am impressed with it. The paddle's okay. I will be using my normal one, only because there's not so much movement in the ends. But it's fine, you know, it does you right if you just want to take the standard equipment with you. It tracks nice, so it stays nice and straight. When you stop paddling it still keeps going in a straight line for quite some time. It is quite windy today, so I was quite surprised by that. But yeah, all in all, it's good. I've just stopped for a nice cup of coffee at the moment. So my final thoughts on the Story Ranger kayak. It's great, I love it. It's going to take a bit of getting used to getting in and out because the sides are a lot lower. So yeah, that's going to take a little while to get used to. But as far as performance goes, it's really good. As I keep saying, it tracks really well. I've gone with the pressure on the actual kayak because there's a lot of confusion among the actual kayak, the manual, and what they state online as to what you should be pumping it up to. So I've gone with what's on the actual kayak. It's give or take a couple of psi either side. So yeah, you can work it out from there. Yeah, but it all works well. The paddle's fairly well. I think I'll stick with my normal paddle, only because the actual paddle parts of it, you can feel a little bit of movement during the strokes, but apart from that, you know, it works well. Yeah, it's definitely well worth the money, I would say. I'm not too keen on the bag because it's not a bag, it's basically a piece of cloth that's been cut so that you can fold it in on itself. There's plenty of straps to keep everything secure, and there are carry handles with it. It doesn't feel that heavy once everything's in there, but I guess we'll see what it's like now that the kayak is going to be a little bit on the wet side. But yeah, so that's my review. If you liked it, if you liked the video, give it a like, and any comments if you've got a similar story, then let me know. I know some of the other kayaks that people do say that it feels unstable. I think that's because the floor on it is a little bit narrower, whereas this is quite wide, and it doesn't have the high tops, so this feels quite stable. I mean, it will rock about obviously, but you know, it doesn't feel as if it's going to flip. In fact, if you look at how I got into the kayak after my cup of coffee, you can see where the one side went right the way down, but it didn't capsize at all. So yeah, it's great. So I shall catch you all soon. Leave a comment, I will answer them, and I'll catch you soon. Take care, bye now.